Hello, everyone. I'm hoping that this is working. If you can just confirm with me that the audio and the video is working, we can get this live stream on the way. But hello, hey Star Warriors, I'm Star Geek. Thank you for tuning in to see this live stream. Today I'm going to be unboxing the Smugglers Bounty November box. And I'm really excited to do this because it's been a whole year since they first released the original November box in 2014 of November. I just want to make sure that the screen is working, so if you guys can give me a confirmation on footage and audio, that'll be fantastic. Is it working, everyone? All right. I'm going to hope that the audio is working because we've had audio issues in the past, but I'm excited just to get into it and unbox the November edition. I don't know if you've heard this already because the stream is acting a little strangely, but it's a bit blurry, but it's good. It's working fine. Okay. Fantastic. All right, so today I want to answer as many questions as I can from you guys, but before I do that, I want to unbox the Smugglers Bounty November box, Rogue One. It's been a whole year since the first Smugglers Bounty mystery box came out, where it was all about The Force Awakens, which was really cool. And we're anticipating another Star Wars film now, and so we have another really special box here to open up, and I'm really excited to see what they did for Rogue One. Other than that, I'm excited to answer your questions. Before we do that, let's get into the unboxing, and then we can do whatever you guys want. All right, great. So this is what the box looks like. Has the Rogue One nice Star Wars logo. Actually, it's kind of a strange shape for this box. I've never seen one. So it's very much longer than the normal size. I can actually, if I pull up the, I think this was Bounty Hunters, you can see the size difference. This is this one from, I don't know what month that was from, but they're all on the channel. You can go back and look at them. And look at this Rogue One box. That is crazy. So I don't know what they put in here, but obviously it's something special. So let's take a look and open it up. So you have to make sure that you have your handy knife here to open up the box. It doesn't quite have to be this big, but you know, go big or go home. So let's see, slit it open like that. All right, let's take a look and open it up. All right. Right off the bat, the pin fell onto the ground. That's not a good start. Look at that. Oh, very cool. We have Captain Cassian Andor, I think his name is. I haven't been doing a lot of Rogue One content on the channel, actually, because I kind of have wanted to steer clear of too many spoilers, just because going into Force Awakens, I kind of knew a lot of what was going to happen in the movie because I had made so many videos and so many analyses on the trailers and stuff that were coming out. I even did a compilation video where I put everything in order that I thought it was going to be in. So I kind of knew the plot to The Force Awakens before it came out. And so I don't really want to spoil myself too much. So I might have a little bit of trouble remembering the names of the characters here, but I'm pretty sure that is Captain Cassian Andor, and that's what the patch looks like. That's pretty cool. Tell me if you want me to come back to any items. Okay, and then the pin, which was on the ground. Oh, awesome. This is K2SO. I'm a character that I'm really excited about because I love droids. If you can see, just this shelf behind me is all C-3PO and R2-D2. So that's what that one looks like. I wonder if I can put it back in its plastic so you guys can see it better. That's not going to actually help you see any better, but there's the pin. Maybe if you can see that, probably not. If you want me to come back to that, I can show you again. But anyway, those are the pins in the patch. Not exactly. I'm going to move this giant knife out of the way because it almost fell right onto the Star Wars merchandise, and you don't want that to get hurt in any way. All right, so let's open up the box and see what's inside. Ah, yes, but is that another thing that just fell out? Boy, oh boy, the packaging here hasn't worked out too well. This, I think, has all the information about what's in the box, including what's in next month's box even. So I don't really want to look at that before we dive into the mystery, but I swear something just fell out. I guess I accidentally got an additional pin, unless that one fell out. No, I guess I got two pins. Okay. I got two K2SO pins. So there you go. But let's see what the t-shirt looks like. All right. Of course, it's going to be a Rogue One design. Oh, that's a cool color scheme with the red and the blue. Let's get it out of the packaging so that we can actually look at it. Exciting. And I'm actually wearing last month's box, which was the Death Star. It's Vader and Kenobi, their fight on the Death Star, which is a pretty cool t-shirt, but I hadn't worn it at all until today, so I figured it's a good time to start wearing it if I'm going to unbox the next issue. All right, so this is what this month's looks like. Oh, I'm going to move the box out of the way so you can see that better. This is awesome. Very, very cool. Look at that. So you've got the Death Star with the dish being put into place and all of the characters. Orson Krennic, K2SO. Is he on there? No, K2SO is not on there. That's surprising. But Darth Vader's up at the top. That is a very cool t-shirt. And we've got all the main characters. Jyn Erso, Rogue One. That's an awesome t-shirt. You can see, I probably won't put that on the live unboxing, but you can see there, that is a great t-shirt. Very, very cool. So that's exciting. I'll show this again in a minute, but I want to get into the actual stuff that's in the box here. Wow. Wow. We usually don't get anything quite like this. Check this out. Smugglers Bounty exclusive Darth Vader. I don't know what brand or what line this is. Hikari Minis. That is awesome. It's like a Darth Vader, and it has like it's like I don't know how to describe that. It's kind of glittery red. That is very cool. We're going to take that out of the box in a minute. Wow, very, very cool. I was not expecting that, that's for sure. And then we have a couple Funko Pops in here, so let's see what this one is. Imperial Death Trooper, which is, let's see if we can get the glare off of there. Imperial Death Trooper, this is an awesome, awesome design. I'm really excited about all the designs that they have in Rogue One. You can see on there all the different pops. Yeah, I can't wait for this movie because it feels like the old Star Wars, even though we have completely new designs for almost everything. We're going to see very few old designs other than the TIE Fighters and the Death Star and things like that. But they're adapting these old images and like making them completely new. And this is a really, really great looking character. So we'll take this out of the box in just a second. And then the last thing in the box right here, let's put the box down, is Jyn Erso, Smugglers Bounty exclusive. Very cool. I don't have any Jyn Erso pops. I usually don't collect pops unless I get them in the boxes. So I have a whole shelf over here just from the 7 or so boxes we've gotten since November of 2014. But yeah, it's a really fun thing to collect. They're just you know, they're not a thing that you want to maybe focus on, but oh, they look so cool all together. And getting them in this monthly subscription box has been a lot of fun, especially since I get to do these Q&As afterwards too. So Jyn Erso, let's take them out of the box so you don't get that glare on the screen, because that's no fun. Okay, let's see. See, as a Star Wars collector, I talk about this every time, but you want to be careful even with the box. You don't want the box to get damaged, especially in an exclusive like this. All right, let's check this out carefully. Oh, look at that. Very, very awesome. She's got a gun. She's posed. Her gear kind of reminds me of the Endor gear that they had in Return of the Jedi for the Rebels. Very cool. All right, so there's Jyn Erso. And then let's open up this, what is this called? Hikari Mini, Darth Vader. This box thing. If I wasn't a collector, this would be so much easier. Okay. Let's see. Are you guys excited for Rogue One? I haven't really talked about it much on the channel, like I said earlier. And I want to know what you guys think of the movie. If you're trying to stay spoiler-free, what I've shown you hasn't really been spoilers, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, look at that. Oh, his head even moves. I thought it would be a single figure, but yeah, that's really cool. Little statue. Very, very nice. That's fun. I haven't really looked at the Hikari Rogue One figures. Speaking of Rogue One, tickets go on sale, at least in Seattle, on Sunday. So that's exciting. It's coming right up. I'm probably going to see it at the Cinerama if I can get tickets to that. So if you're going to be there, I will be happy to see you there. But yeah, I'm excited to see the movie. I'm going to see it opening night if I can. with a bunch of Star Wars people who live in the area. So that should be a lot of fun. I mean, it's a new Star Wars movie, so how can't it be? All right, and then here is the Imperial Death Trooper. My desk is a huge mess right now. There you go, with his gun in his hand. That is very, very cool. That's awesome. All right. So you can see all the different pops with the designs they have on there. Very cool. And I'm sorry about the camera quality. I should probably get a different camera setup, but for now we just have the webcam on my laptop. Not great. It's going to have to do for now, though. So I'm sorry if the audio is bad. That's just the stream. If the footage is bad, it might be a combination of the laptop, or if I go over to YouTube where I can actually see it. Yeah, it can get a little pixelated sometimes with the stream going through. So hopefully you just bear with the quality here. Okay, so yeah, here are the two pops one last time. Looking good. And then the Hikari, Darth Vader. And I'll show the t-shirt, and then we'll get on to all of your questions. So if you guys are ready to start asking some questions, I'll get on to answering them. All right, here's the t-shirt. This has been a great box. I'm excited about this. It feels like it's so long. In between 2 months is not a very long time, but it just, it's a lot of fun to do these live stream videos. And I like interacting with you guys. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be answering those now. And if you guys want to see more of the stuff that came in the box, just tell me and I can pull it back up. All right, I think we have everything out of the way. And we have the process that they went into making each of these items on this little paper here. So you can see the Jyn Erso, the Imperial Death Trooper, and the Hikari figure, and even the t-shirt down there, how they designed that. Very, very nice. Okay, let's answer some questions. Glenn asks he requests rank the Star Wars movies from worst to best. Okay, so I'm gonna go actually best to worst because it's just easier in my head to figure it out. So the best to worst Star Wars movies are gonna be Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. That's my list. I have a couple different videos on why that's the order that I have these movies in. But I'd love to know what you guys have as your list, especially on that video. There are tons of comments on all of the different opinions that people have on how the movies should be ranked. In fact, how they should be watched even, because I always say watch them in release order because that's going to make the most sense. That's how they were released into the public so that people understand the story. So if you want to watch it in chronological order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that works. If you haven't, obviously, if you're watching this, you've seen Star Wars, I'm assuming. But if you know someone who's been asking you, like, what order should I watch the movies in? I would definitely suggest the release order, because chronological order is going to be very, very not confusing for them necessarily, but more, it's going to give away a lot that the original trilogy has going for it in the prequels a little bit too early on, so you don't want to spoil it with that. That was a little bit of a tangent just for the simple question of rank the Star Wars movies, but there you go. Thank you, Glenn, for that question. Okay, and that, yes, Mr. Goggles points out the machete order, which is, I don't want to mess this up. I think it's you skip 1, you don't watch 1 at all, and then you go, is it 4, 2, or is it 2, 4, 3, 5, 6, or something like that? If you guys know the machete order, I haven't really thought about it in a long time, but that might work. I've never tried watching them in that order. So to be safe, release order. That's my opinion. Okay, would you rather be Luke or Han, asks Ezzy May. I hope I didn't butcher your name there. Ezzy May, something like that. Would I rather be Luke or Han? That's a tough one. You know, I've done a few different videos where I've put them against each other. I've ranked my favorite characters, and I prefer Han Solo as a character. But really, Luke has more of an arc. He has more of a progression, and it's a little bit more. I don't know how to explain this. You really should look at the character as a whole. And when I'm ranking my favorite characters, Han Solo beat out Luke by like 5 or 6 spots. But really, Luke Skywalker is the man or the character who the whole arc is based around, or at least the Star Wars Skywalker saga storyline. Luke and Anakin and characters like that. So would I rather be like a snarky smuggler who does illegal things around the galaxy, or would I be like a Jedi hero guy? I can't really say. I like Han Solo a little bit more, but I think Luke probably would be a better lifestyle. So I don't know. Who would you rather be, guys? I'd like to know that. Okay, would you rather be Cad Bane or Jango Fett? I'm probably gonna stop answering these would you rather be who after this, but Cad Bane is probably, I think he's a cooler character. He was just a little bit more fleshed out throughout the Clone Wars. If you haven't seen the Clone Wars, Cad Bane is a bounty hunter on that show. And he's just a really great character. And Jango Fett is nice too, but I usually prefer Boba Fett, so trying to choose between Jango Fett and Cad Bane, it would have to be Cad Bane, just because Jango Fett I usually compare with Boba Fett, and since I rank Boba Fett above Jango Fett, it just doesn't like work out. So yeah, it's got to be Cad Bane. If you haven't seen the Clone Wars, you'd understand why. Okay, are you going to buy tickets on Sunday? Yes, yeah. I guess the short answer would be yes. I'm gonna buy tickets on Sunday. The idea is that people in the group will kind of help each other out getting into the premiere of Rogue One. Seattle is a great area for Star Wars fans. We have a huge geeky nerdy population here in the Emerald City, and there's a great group, Sarlacc, the Seattle Area Lucasfilm Artifact Collectors Club, which is very tight knit, and it's great. It's a great way to get involved with the Star Wars community, especially locally. So yeah, that's really nice. I'm probably gonna buy tickets on Sunday. Okay, how many times will you see Rogue One in the cinemas? I'm probably going to see. Well, I saw The Force Awakens. I think it was 4 or 5 times. I feel like it was 5, but it might have been 4. No, it's got to be 5. I think I saw it in the Cinerama once, and then in AMC or something twice, and then in IMAX theater. So it might have only been 4 times. It just felt like a ton. So I'll probably see it at least 3 times, probably 4. And then watch it a bunch more times once I get it on Blu-ray after that. All right, which is your favorite Star Wars vehicle? Well, my favorite ship would be the Millennium Falcon. But I don't know if a Corellian freighter would be like my favorite type of vehicle. I guess that my favorite type of vehicle, oh, that's so tough. Maybe an AT-AT, an AT-AT. AT-AT walkers are pretty awesome. So I don't know. That's a really tough one. I have a original trilogy, top 10 original trilogy best ships or something video. I think that was my first top 10 video I ever did. And I promised that my next video would be the top 10 prequel vehicles. I still haven't done it, so I'm gonna hopefully get that one out soon, because it's been like 3 years and I still haven't done that. So I'll get on that soon. Okay, what if Rogue One sucks? It can't suck. It can't. But if it does, I feel like the spin-off movies are gonna have a really hard time getting off the ground. It looks amazing from what I've seen in the trailers and the idea that I have of the plot. It's going to be really great, but it's not guaranteed. You can never like know for sure that it's going to be a great movie. But you gotta hope. If it fails completely, if it doesn't make any money, that's the real thing. It's if people don't like it, but it makes a ton of money for Disney, they're gonna keep doing spin-off movies, because it's all about the money. But if you if it does really succeed, there have been rumors that Disney is gonna stop the Skywalker storyline after Episode 9. I think today they were talking about it a lot. Just completely saying Skywalkers are done. We're completely done with that story, and we're just gonna do spin-offs. which is an interesting concept. And I'm not actually opposed to it at all, because we've seen the Skywalkers for all of the movies, basically. And it would be interesting to get a different perspective or a different time period or something like that from the Star Wars galaxy, because there's so much to look at. There's so many different plots and characters that we still haven't really explored. So I would really love to see some really good spin-off movies. Han Solo movie, not so much, but an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie would be amazing. And if they sacrifice continuing the saga stories, I'm probably not too opposed to that. As long as they finish up the Skywalker legacy, we're all good. Okay. What color lightsaber would you have? You know, I mean, I keep getting asked that, and it would have to be between blue or green. I don't know exactly what I'd choose. I don't think there's really like a obvious choice there for me. But I can tell you my favorite design of lightsaber is Obi-Wan Kenobi's from episode 4. I think he has the same lightsaber throughout most of the movies, but episode 4. Episode 4, excuse me, I should get some water. That would be my favorite design of a lightsaber. But green, I guess? I don't know. Blue is kind of the classic one, so maybe blue. I would love to see a Darth Maul movie. Would you? Asks Ivan. You know what? I think that they could really incorporate Darth Maul into the Obi-Wan Kenobi storyline. Instead of having a standalone Darth Maul movie, I think it would be better to just have him be the main antagonist in the Obi-Wan movie, because he's basically Obi-Wan Kenobi's arch nemesis. In the Clone Wars, in the movies, he killed his master, so it would be a really interesting reason for Obi-Wan to actually leave Tatooine, where he's watching over Luke. He has this huge commitment to watch over the savior of the galaxy, and the one thing that I think could draw him away from that would be Darth Maul. So if they do Obi-Wan Kenobi movies, Darth Maul I think would be the way to go, unless they kill him off in Rebels. Darth Maul's been making appearances in Rebels, and there's some rumors that he might end his time there, but we'll see how that goes. I haven't actually seen season 3 at all of Rebels, because season 1 didn't really interest me, and season 2 picked up a bunch, and I liked it, but I never really got around to watching season 3, so I have no idea if that's good or not. From what I've heard, it's still going along pretty well, but I don't know. Okay. Opinion on James Bond? Question mark, asks Dante Bay. Opinion of James Bond. I haven't actually seen that many James Bond movies. The ones that I have seen are amazing, and I would definitely want to see more. All my friends love James Bond, but I haven't really seen quite enough to have a firm opinion. And I haven't read any of the books or a lot of the lore behind it. But you know, the Sean Connery and people like that, I've seen a bunch of those movies. So yeah, I need to get watching on that whole series. We have the whole series here. I just haven't really seen them. So yeah, that's all I have to say about James Bond. Okay. What do you think Finn is going to do in episode 8? I'm not really sure. You know, I haven't been keeping up with the rumors. I get feeds and people send me clips of like behind the scenes footage of episode 8 in Ireland. And I don't really want to watch that stuff because I don't want it to be spoiled in really any way. But last time we saw him, he was like half paralyzed. He was alive, but he was half paralyzed. And from what I've heard, John Boyega has been working out a ton to get in shape for this movie. So I assume that he's going to be really active, but I don't know what he's going to do. So we'll see how that works out. Okay. Can I see the Star Wars collection back there? Asks Smart Bubble. I mean, I can scoot out of the way. But I guess this is the main like scope of the collection, the main area, but I have a whole C-3PO and pop shelf over here and some things scattered around, posters all over the place. But I hope to do a collection video sometime once I actually dust off the shelves and figure that all out. But yeah, so that what you can see right here is the unkempt collection. There are things like old cassette tapes and little trinkets around here that aren't. I was thinking about, you know, cleaning up and kind of consolidating the collection a little bit more. But I have a C-3PO Focus So there's a whole shelf here with a bunch of different things like this Disney Elite C3PO, which is pretty cool. I have a lot of things back there. Someone was asking earlier too, what's the thing that you're most proud of in your collection? And I don't really have like a main item. I think last time I showed off the trophy that some people in the Sarlacc group had given me. But yeah, I don't really have a main item. It might be the here, I can grab this really quick actually. This, what I have here, is an actual piece of the Crate Dragon skeleton. This guy back here from A New Hope. This is an actual piece of it, which is pretty cool. That might be one of my favorite items I have. Or I also have some animation cells from Droids, the 85 children's cartoon. Because they actually draw out the things and they animate it like that. So these are the actual screen used animation cells. I can pull one out here. Yeah. So this is a picture from the intro Droids animation cell, which is pretty awesome. And considering I'm a Droids collector, a robot collector, a C3PO and R2-D2 and stuff like that, you can see that's the frame that it's from in the show, in the intro, and there's all the information about it. But yeah, this is the official original animation cell, which one of my favorite pieces. I have a couple more over there. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And you can actually see the sketch. I'm sorry, I really like these animation cells. But you can see the step that goes right before you actually color in the animation cell for the cartoon is you draw a sketch of it so you can edit it and erase it and things like that. And then you kind of sketch over that and you make that one. So this is the only one that I kind of have duplicates of from different steps in the process. So you can see this is what it starts like, and then you get this in the end. So that's kind of cool. There's a lot of different stuff that I could show off here, but I want to get back to answering some questions. So yeah, that's basically the main items that I think of when people ask me what are your favorite Star Wars items. So let's answer another question. Okay, if you were in Star Wars and lived on a planet, which planet? Ooh, the question just disappeared. Where is it? If you were in Star Wars and you lived in a planet, which planet would you live on? Thank you, Manuel. Which planet would I live on? I guess Naboo. No, Naboo's a little bit too formal and royal. I guess I'd live on Coruscant. I live in a big city, so it wouldn't be. I mean, it's quite different from Seattle, but no, yeah, I think Coruscant would probably be like my go-to safest planet to go to. Or Corellia sounds really nice, but that's not really shown off in the films. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question. That's a good question though. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Do you have any Black Series 3PO or any K2 stuff? So actually, I just got the Walgreens exclusive Black Series C3PO. I haven't opened them up yet even, but that's fun. And I love the Black Series line, so I'm super excited that they're finally doing C3PO. And then I'm actually going to do a Force Friday, which was like a couple months ago, but I've been waiting to kind of build up. I've been waiting for the right time to release this video, but I'm going to do a Black Friday video, or not a Black Friday, that's today, a Force Friday video where I show off what I got on Force Friday, which has a bunch of the K2SO stuff that I got. And I don't know if I want to show you that right now, but I've gotten a few K2SO items too. Basically, all that I ever wanted of K2SO, I got that night. So that works well. Joe Willard asks, what music do you listen to? I definitely have an answer for that once I get some water. Ah, that's relief. Okay. What music do I listen to? I listen to The Killers. They're my go-to band. I've been listening to them ever since I was very young, and they've kind of been like built into my brain. So yeah, The Killers, I listen to all their albums are great. Hot Fuss was their first one, and then they have Sam's Town, which has a huge bunch of huge hits. You've probably heard When You Were Young. or from Hot Fuss, you've probably heard Mr. Brightside. That's all the Killers. But there's a ton of stuff, and they actually do holiday songs every year. And I've been listening to that lately, like A Great Big Sled and Don't Shoot Me Santa and songs like that. And they should be coming out with one soon. But yeah, that's mostly what I listen to. And then 80s music too, because I like clearly 80s things. But yeah, that's my main go-to band for music would be the Killers. Okay, let's see. What time is it in America? It's 10:30 in England. Please respond. I'm interested. Says, oh no, who was that? Mr. Goggles. It is, well, okay. America is a very huge country. So in Seattle on the West Coast, this is California, Oregon, and Washington. It's 2:31 p.m. And then it goes back an hour each time zone. There are 4 time zones. So the East Coast would be what? It's 2 and then 3, 4, 5 p.m., 5:30 or something. I'm sure someone from the East Coast is here. But yeah, so it's 2:30 where I am. So I hope that I thank you for staying up. I mean, 10:30 isn't that late, but for spending your time watching this live stream, I'm very appreciative. Okay, what do you think of Portland, Oregon? Who says this? Kyle King. Portland's nice, you know. It's kind of it reminds me a lot of Seattle. But no, Portland's got some great areas to go to. Voodoo Donuts, that's kind of what one of their main attractions. Voodoo Donuts and the Rose Gardens are really nice. I've been to Portland a few times, and then the other question that usually comes up is what do you think of Vancouver, Canada, just north? So Portland is kind of like up here in the Northwest. We have all very similar lifestyles and stuff like that. So Portland and Seattle and Vancouver kind of get clumped together into the like Cascadia area. And I love Portland and I love Vancouver. And more than anything, I love Seattle. So no, it's a great area. If you ever get a chance to visit, go to in Seattle, go to the EMP, which is just recently had a name change, which is super hard to get used to, but the MoPop, they're calling it now, the Museum of Pop Culture. It has a ton of geeky, nerdy items, and Paul Allen from Microsoft kind of has his personal collection items up there. He has I think Darth Vader's lightsaber and pieces of a Sidious mask and Yoda's cane and little flute. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff at the MoPop at the Museum of Pop Culture that you should definitely go check out if you ever come to Seattle. So okay, that was total rant. And yes, we have bands like Nirvana. We're famous for grunge music, rain, coffee, and geekiness. So that's Seattle for you. Okay, who's your favorite TFA character? That's such a hard question. Ray was an awesome character. Finn was an awesome character too. I'm just gonna do the cop-out one and say BB-8 because it's just a new robot and he's a lot of fun, and you know, there's a bunch of cool stuff. I really like his design, which is one of the main things. But no, yeah, BB-8 is great. It's probably Ray. She ended up being a very, very cool figure or cool character. So yeah, I don't really have a good answer for that. All right, let's see. What do you think of an Old Republic Netflix series? Old Republic is interesting. I definitely want to see more timelines. Like I'd be interested in seeing what the Old Republic would look like if they did a live Netflix series. But any Netflix series would interest me. I just want a good, well-produced Star Wars TV show that isn't a cartoon, a live-action Star Wars TV show. So the idea of Netflix picking up a Star Wars show would be fantastic. So very excited about that if it eventually goes through. Okay, favorite Clone Wars arc. I think it's Umbara, where General Krell, the four-armed alien guy, is like goes berserk. I don't want to really spoil it, but the Umbara arc is amazing. Definitely worth checking out. Solo Jedi asks, is Disney ignoring the prequels? They had a few little nods to the prequels in The Force Awakens. They talked about the Clone Army and something else, I think. But no, you know, I think that after they're really trying to target like the old school fans, and they do not want they don't want the prequels getting too involved. Hopefully they don't ignore them completely, because there's some great stuff from the prequels. But I think that the way they're going to mostly focus on the original trilogy and the sequels and the spin-offs that they come up with away from the prequels, which is too bad. But you know, I have no complaints about what they've been putting out so far, so I'm excited for it. Let's see. And they have merchandise coming out, like action figures and stuff of prequels characters, so they're not completely ignoring it. But I wouldn't expect to see a movie anytime soon. So, okay. What else do we have here? Do you like the Rebels or the Empire? I mean, you gotta go for the Rebels, but honestly, I'd probably, if I had to choose, who would you rather go with? Before I knew who like came out on top in the end, I'd probably say the Empire, because they were more powerful, and they just had cooler leaders and better forces and stuff like that. So if I had to guess who would win the wars that were going on, it would be the Empire, and I'd probably choose to go with the Empire. But yeah, I mean, the Empire is just awesome anyway. So yeah, that's a tough one. All these are tough because I can just see the positives for each character or each movie or each Empire or Rebellion. I mean, it's just so hard to choose between those. But yeah, no, that's a great question. Have you been to Canada? Asks Kyron. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, Vancouver, awesome city. I've been to Vancouver, BC, and I've been to Victoria. I haven't been anywhere east of that. In fact, in the United States even, I've only been to 5 states, which is Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, and just recently Idaho. I went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. But yeah, no, I haven't really been east in North America, but I've been all over Northern Europe, Northwestern Europe, like Sweden and Norway and Denmark. Really great there. So I've been to more countries than I have states. But yeah, Canada's great from what I've seen of it. Okay, do you only like Star Wars or science fiction as a whole? I'm not a huge science fiction fan, actually. Surprisingly, Star Wars is kind of it's kind of a very special thing. It's more fantasy than it is. It's kind of a fantasy world over science fiction based. But I think that the reason people group it in with science fiction is really mostly just because it's set in space and they're like spaceships and stuff. But it's really not much about space or the scientific aspects or, you know, anything like that, like Star Trek is. And I tried to get into the original Star Trek series, and I just couldn't really get into it. But you know, it's it's fun. So science fiction can be really good, but I usually not watch a science fiction movie. I'm interested in it though, so let's see what they come out with. Okay, yeah, Star Wars is a space fantasy, as Salad Von Bako says. Bako? Sorry about mispronouncing your name there. But yeah, it's space fantasy, not really in the same genre. Okay. Do you read the EU, the expanded universe, the Legends side of Star Wars? I haven't read much, actually. That's why I haven't put much in the videos, because people want me to include a bunch of Legends stuff in my top 10 lists and things like that. But I just wouldn't feel comfortable saying definitively, like, oh, the Thrawn trilogy is the best book series ever written, because that's what I've read. And I think that from what I've read, the Thrawn trilogy is the best out of the EU, but I haven't read enough of the expanded universe or Legends to really even like talk about it in detail or know enough to the point where I could feel comfortable like definitively saying that something is better than the rest of it, or that, you know, I know enough about. I just don't know enough about the expanded universe to really talk in depth about it. So maybe I'll see some stuff in the future or read some more books. But for now, I'm going to try to not talk too much about the expanded universe. Maybe I'll do little pieces and do spotlights on, like, oh, I want to tell you about this book or about this section of expanded universe. And I haven't read any or I haven't played really any video games, not very many Star Wars video games, but video games like Star Wars Galaxies, which was closed down a few years ago, but they have emulators and things for it. I'm like, Star Wars Galaxies looks like it would be such an amazing game to play. And I want to talk about it if I can, but I want to play it first. So there's a lot of stuff that you need that I want to get into before I talk more in depth about it on the channel. But there should be a lot more to come still. Okay. What do you think about the Boba Fett news? Is there Boba Fett news? Is there a Boba Fett movie coming out or something? Because I haven't heard anything about the Boba Fett news, unless I'm just not thinking about it. But no, I'd love to hear the Boba Fett news if you have it. Okay. Favorite non-Star Wars franchise would have to be Indiana Jones. Mr. Oh boy, Owl. Mr. Owl, I'm gonna call you, because that's a long name. I'm gonna say Indiana Jones. It's got to be Indiana Jones. The first 3 movies at least. So yeah, there's so much to talk about that. So yeah, it's a great Steven Spielberg series produced by George Lucas. I like the stuff that they make, so that's good. General LR22 says, Stargeek, have you been to Lakewood? I don't know. I know Lakewood. I don't know where it is in the state. I probably have, but I might not have. So I'm sorry. I can't really remember where Lakewood is. Pink Love asks, are you Snoke? I mean, it's kind of a weird way for this to come out. And I didn't think I was going to be talking about it here, but I am Snoke. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I am Snoke. So I'm sorry that I didn't tell you earlier. It's been a real burden, and The Force Awakens was a really tough movie to work on too. So, you know, I don't want to talk about it too much, but yes, I am Snoke. Okay. Who do you think Snoke really is? I don't know. I really can't say. I'd say Plagueis if I had to make a real guess. Darth Plagueis the Wise, that Palpatine talks about in Revenge of the Sith to Anakin in that little story. He's Palpatine's master. But there's some people in the Star Wars group who say it's Ezra from Rebels, which is an interesting theory, and they have some good evidence to back it up. But I just don't see them integrating the cartoon with the movies. So I'm not sure. But you know, there's so many theories out there, and I did a video on the Who Are Rey's parents, like my theories on that, and it is so controversial that I don't want to talk too much about theories. But I might do another theory video. I kind of said I might do a Darth Jar Jar video or a Snoke video, but there are just so many out there that I don't know we really need anymore theories or thoughts on theories. So, but yeah, I guess my best guess would be Darth Plagueis. To the Lakewood question, I just got confirmation. Yes, I have been to Lakewood, and I'm sure it was nice. I think it's by Tacoma, I think. But yeah, everywhere in Washington is nice. So it's, yeah, Lakewood, I'm sure, is a great town. Okay. Do you watch Supernatural, asks Isabel. No, I'm not a huge Supernatural or like ghosts or horror or anything like that. I'm not really into those types of movies or TV shows. But I did Gishwas, the greatest international scavenger hunt the world has ever seen. Gishwas, which is Misha Collins, one of the actors from Supernatural, puts on this event every year called Gishwas. And you basically do these crazy tasks that are just really fun and interesting, and you know, all sorts of stuff like that with a group, and you complete them and see who gets the most points. And that's really fun. And that's actually, I talked about earlier, the little statue, and I showed this off in the last video too. Might as well show it again. I was given this by the group for working on editing Gishwis videos, which is really fun, and it's a really cool thing that they made me using a the Target 12-inch C3PO. But no, I haven't really watched. I've seen maybe a few episodes of Supernatural because we started Gishwis, and I wanted to see what it was about, but never really got into it. So I'm sure it's a good show, though. Okay. Let's see. Favorite superhero movie? Dennis asks, what's your favorite superhero movie? And Joe Willard asks, do you like Back to the Future? And Brian Holmes asks, do you watch Doctor Who? And I want to answer all of those. So favorite superhero movie. My favorite superhero is probably Iron Man. I'm not really a superhero person, but Spider-Man and Iron Man would probably be my two go-to superheroes. And the Civil War, Captain America Civil War, that is an amazing movie. I really, really love that movie, even for someone who's not really a superhero fan. So yeah, no, Civil War was fantastic. That's probably my favorite superhero movie, unless you count Guardians of the Galaxies, or Guardians of the Galaxy, not Galaxies, as a superhero movie, because that's even better. I'm really excited for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, if that counts as a superhero movie, which I guess it does, kind of, and Civil War if it doesn't. Do you like Back to the Future? Back to the Future would probably be number 3 for my favorite franchises. It would be Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Back to the Future. So yeah, I was actually Marty McFly for Halloween. I have a Halloween video up there on the channel, which is very strange. But yeah, I had the Marty McFly costume on. And then Doctor Who. I watched seasons or Doctors. I don't know how the seasons work. I haven't seen the old Doctor Who, and I really kind of want to try to get into it. But I watched from the 9th Doctor, I think it was 9th through 11th, and I haven't seen anything of the 12th. But the 10th Doctor, that whole section of the new series of Doctor Who was a lot of fun. I'm just not a huge science fiction fan, and Doctor Who got a little bit strange sometimes, a little bit too strange for me. So no, Doctor Who was a lot of fun though, what I did see, but I haven't really come back to it in a long time. So I hope I answered those about the different franchises, the geeky franchises. Are you a big Seahawks fan? I'm not really a sports person, clearly, but I mean, yes, Seahawks would be the number 1 sports team, really, because I'm in Seattle and I love the city. So I've got to say, I mean, Seahawks, Sounders, Mariners, all of the Seattle teams would be my favorite teams. And there's actually a Huskies game going on right now, college game. The Washington Huskies, University of Washington, is playing right now, and I don't know the score. I think they were winning though, so that's good. But yeah, we'll see how that game goes. Okay. Do you know how to speak any Star Wars language? No. As a joke, I learned like 5 words in Huttese and would always use them on my friends whenever I could. But that was just a joke. I haven't really. I've learned Orabesh, so I can read the fake Star Wars language. But I haven't actually learned like Huttese or Ewokese or anything like that. I know Yub Nub means like we're free or freedom or something like that, and Poodoo is like, you know, like a swear word or excrement or something. So you know, Poodoo. Yeah, Poodoo is the main one that I know. Okay. And yeah, there's kind of a setup to how the language works. There's not a huge it's not, they don't have conjugations or classes or anything on how to learn a language. I would love to in college take a Huttese class and learn Huttese. I'm sure it would be a lot more than the French that I'm learning now. But yeah, I don't think there's really a structure. There's a loose structure, and you can kind of take Huttese words and replace them with English words, but there's not really a good way to actually learn the language. So I don't know. Okay. Do you like Harry Potter? Yeah, Harry Potter's nice. I haven't seen the movies in a long time, but last week I saw Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is a great movie. Wasn't really expecting it because I was like, oh, they're cashing in from Harry Potter and it's not going to be very good. But it was actually really, really amazing. It was kind of a standalone thing. It didn't really bank on the Harry Potter's movies as much as I thought it would. So no, it works really well on its own as a movie. And Harry Potter, fun stuff. I like anything that doesn't take itself too seriously. And Harry Potter is basically like the perfect mix of seriousness and silly magic and stuff. So yeah, it's fun. Okay. The C-3PO costume. G. Cole is asking about the C-3PO costume. So I started a C-3PO costume, and I want to be able to wear a full one day. But we haven't really worked on it much lately because it's a huge task and it's super expensive, and you have to be willing to wear like the super tight outfit. I can grab the masks, but they aren't really done at all, so I don't know if it's worth showing off. I'd love to show it off more when we're more complete. But yeah, we haven't really worked on it much. Hopefully we'll get on that soon, and maybe over winter break we'll be able to try to work on that a little bit more. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Wear it at a convention or something. That would be fun. Okay. Who is your favorite actor? Asks Joshi the Yoshi. Harrison Ford, I guess, would be. I don't really have a favorite actor, but Harrison Ford would have to be because he's Han Solo, he's Indiana Jones, he's all these roles. Yeah, Harrison Ford has to be my favorite actor. Okay. Let's see. If you could have a lightsaber, which one would you have? I kind of talked about that at the beginning, GoPro Gamer. It would have to be Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. It just has the coolest design. The hilt is really awesome. Yeah, I don't really have much more of an answer than that. But yeah, I guess it would have to be Obi-Wan's. Don't really have a favorite lightsaber color either. Talked about that earlier. Who's your favorite Sith? Darth Vader. I don't really think there's any other way to go but Darth Vader. I mean, I guess Emperor Palpatine would be an acceptable answer. But no, it's got to be Darth Vader. I mean, there's no villain better than Darth Vader. So, no, I mean, Darth Vader. That's the simple answer. He has to be the best. Okay. Let's see. If you had to be a soldier of an army in any of the movies, which would you be? Asks Fred. I guess Scout Trooper. I really like the design that the Scout Troopers have. I can grab this guy here. Maybe. Yeah, the Scout Trooper design is just really cool. Haven't really thought about this question. I guess I wouldn't really want to be a soldier in any of the movies because they all suck. But the Clone Troopers in the Clone Wars, in the TV series, the cartoon, have a lot of personality. So I guess it would be one of those in like one of the squadrons that they have. Because the stormtroopers don't really have any personality, and the clones in the movies have no personality. So, you know, I guess it would have to be Scout Trooper for the design, maybe Clone Trooper. I don't know the exact types there are, but one of the clones from the Clone Wars. Okay. Did you play Battlefront and did you like it? I didn't play Battlefront actually. I've seen it in person a few times, but I've never played it. I don't have a PS4 because I'm not a huge gamer. So to buy a PS4 or Xbox One or something just for Battlefront, it didn't seem like it was worth it to me, and it wasn't getting great reviews. I think it looks amazing, but from what I've heard, it wasn't getting fantastic reviews, and the DLC is kind of cheap. But I'd love to play it sometime. But I haven't really looked at that stuff yet. Do you like Futurama? Asks Solo Jedi. Yeah, it's a great show. I think I've seen it. I've seen it all the way through at least once, and I think I've seen it most of it again. Like The Office, I've seen 3 times. The U.S. Office. But Futurama, yeah, it's a really good show. You have to kind of get attached to the characters before it really picks up. But no, it's funny. It's the same people who do The Simpsons, but it seems fresher. Yeah, it's sad that it was canceled, but I think it did a lot of good stuff when it was on the air. Okay. I don't really. People keep asking like, what was the best death, or who do you think had the best death? And I think that's a great question, Elise. But I don't know if I want to spoil anything. For people who haven't seen the Clone Wars, I guess it would be the Domino Squad. I think people who've seen the Clone Wars know the Domino Squad. One of them, or maybe 99 would be. That was pretty sad. And he was a great character too. But yeah, I don't want to go into much more detail than that. But no, good question. Thank you. Okay. Would you like a droid-focused spin-off movie? So when they were announcing spin-off movies, the movies that I said would be great to see were Obi-Wan Kenobi, maybe Lando, which I'm backing off from after reading the comic book that they had. Wasn't a fan of the Lando comic book. So I don't know about that. But I said Obi-Wan, Lando, and droids. And I think droids would be a pretty, it wouldn't be a great movie, but it would be an interesting way to introduce new characters through the old characters, C-3PO and R2-D2. And I love the old cartoon. It's not gonna win any awards. But the cartoon from 1985 is just a lot of fun. And I really, really enjoyed watching that all the way through. And I have a couple Spanish, I think, action figures from the cartoon, actually. Or they're really more like figurines, but this is R2-D2. And we can reach over. Here's C-3PO. But no, I'd love to see a droids movie. I don't think it would do very well. And I don't know how they'd really make it interesting. But yeah, so droids I'd like to see. Don't think they're ever gonna do it. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. So the Boba Fett that people were talking about earlier, it sounds like, so there was a Boba Fett film that was canceled. I didn't think that the Boba Fett movie was confirmed, but apparently they've canceled it, and they're gonna go through with a Kenobi movie, which that is super exciting news. If that's true, as long as Ewan McGregor's in it, I think it's gonna be all good. But no, that's really exciting. If Obi-Wan Kenobi replaced Boba Fett, I'd be all for that. I'd honestly rather have a Boba Fett movie than a Han Solo movie, though. But I mean, you can't ask for too much. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's all I want. I'd love to see a sequel or a trilogy even of Obi-Wan movies. I think that would be a lot of fun. Okay. It might be a little bit much for just one character, though. I'm sure that they know what they're doing. Okay. Which character would you take out the saga? Asks Jedi Pikachu. Like in person, like which is my favorite character? Which character would you like? Would you have join your world? I guess it would be one of the robots or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. That's a interesting question. Do you like the originals better than the prequels? Asks the Iron Minecart. Yes, absolutely. Almost said no. That would not go over well. No, yeah, originals. I grew up on the originals. Really, I've talked about this a lot in the past, but I grew up on the originals. I enjoy the prequels a lot. I grew up with them just a few years later, but the original trilogy is really what I know best. So, like I said earlier, Empire, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. That's my order for best to worst movies in the saga. So, all right. It's about time to wrap up, but I think I'll answer one last question. So if you have any dying questions, I'm just going to pick the first one that pops up right here. What is your favorite Star Wars game? So what's my favorite Star Wars video game? Asks Jedi Pikachu again. See, the thing is, the ones that I think I'd like the most, I haven't actually played, and I don't want to really give an opinion on them. From what I've seen, Star Wars Galaxies, an amazing, it's open world where you can walk around anywhere and do whatever you want. It's kind of like a role play video game, and that just seems like a super interesting concept. and I'd love to eventually play that game. But I haven't actually gotten my hands on it, so can't say for sure anything about that. But it would probably be something along those lines. All right, fantastic. Thank you all so much for coming on. It really means a lot that you've all been asking these questions, and I've had some great questions today. A lot of new ones that I haven't answered before too. So that's a lot of fun. One last time, if you want to see, we have this is from the unboxing earlier. You can skip ahead to the video if you want to see the unboxing, but here's what we got from the mystery box. It was this Hikari Darth Vader figure. Pretty awesome. And then on top of that, we got the Imperial Death Trooper, a pop. Pretty cool looking. And finally, we have Rey, or not Rey, Jyn Erso. That definitely not Rey. A Jyn Erso pop figure. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a whole year of doing these unboxing videos, and it's just getting better and better. So this is great. Thank you all so much for coming. Until we meet again in a galaxy far, far away, this has been Star Geek.